Hi there, good afternoon. Ooh. Welcome to Point Blank. My name's Luke, and I'm one of the senior course advisors here at Point Blank. And first of all, just a quick round of applause for one of our students here, Andreas, who's been spinning some of his tunes. I think we've got a few more people coming in at the back. Please make your way in. It might be standing only now. We're very busy, as you can see. But it's great to have you in today. Today is the Point Blank Open Day, really, and it's an opportunity for you to find out more about Point Blank Music School, find out more about our courses, and also take a look around our state-of-the-art studio facilities, and I guess help you discover if Point Blank is the right place for you to come and study. Now, to give you a bit of a brief rundown as to what we've got in store for you today, I'm going to be doing a quick presentation with some of my very special guests that we've got here, and I'll be introducing you to them very shortly. Following that, we're going to be breaking up into 3 groups, and we're going to go and check out all of our studios here before coming back into the hub. And then Ski Oakenfull, our head of education over here, is going to be doing one of his legendary deconstructions. Following this, we will be doing a Q&A, so any questions that you have, please keep those till the end, and we'll be more than happy to answer those. We also have an application clinic here today, so in Studio 1 with my colleague Bibi. She's going to be talking to you a little bit more about what we need or what we want to see if you would like to apply to come and study with us. You can also get your application started in Studio 1. So head over there at the end of the day. If you have any questions about entry requirements, visas, scholarships, etc., then we've got Head of Admissions, Claire, over here, who is going to be running and answering some questions in Studio 2. So go and check her out as well. Now, we've also got a very special guest that I want to bring up here right away. This is Rob Cowan, and Rob is our CEO and founder, and I think he's got a few words that he wants to share with you. So welcome, Rob, onto the stage. Here's a microphone. Yeah, over to you.
Right, well, are we on? Yes. Just want to say thank you all for coming out. It's brilliant to see so many faces. I mean, we've been open since the summer, but we've really started to get some momentum going. It's great to see all of you here, to have students here. So well done for coming out, and you know, I think we're all feeling relieved and pleased that we can come back to school, basically. So yeah, very exciting for us as well. So this morning I was thinking, I just wanted to say a few words. What am I going to say that these guys aren't going to tell you all after me? Because we've got a great presentation for you. And I thought, well, I'd just share a few words about my experience, my journey, and what we're all passionate about and why we do this. So for me, a bit of my background, I was a professional bass player going back many, many years now. I was fortunate enough to get a record deal with Sony, and we toured, we put records out, and it was a great experience. But I realized I wanted to learn about music production. I hadn't really had experience in studios. So I then worked in a big studio, one called Matrix, which doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, there was a lot of artists going in. It was a great place to be in the center of the music industry. So I had a lot of great experience, met a lot of people, and then went on to set up my own studio in 1994, which was called Point Blank. It wasn't a school, it was a recording studio. And what happened was people were coming into the studio and they wanted to know how all the equipment worked. So I used to spend my weeks doing production sessions and working with artists, and then at the weekend we started teaching people. I started teaching people. It wasn't a we then, actually. And it was just, like you, people just wanted to know how the studio worked, how this technology worked. A lot of the questions I would get was, why doesn't my track sound like a record? So, and I'm sure a lot of you that make music probably have asked yourself the same question. And there's a lot of techniques and skills that you can learn to help that. So that was the background. That was 94. And the school's grown organically. And we moved here to Hoxton in 2001. And we've been growing and growing and growing ever since. So there's a real solid foundation. I think that's 27 years. Don't ask me where all that time has gone. And obviously we've grown since then. It's not just me anymore. But we're all, I think one thing that unites us all is we're all very, very passionate about music. All my colleagues here, we're all either musicians or into music, and I'm sure that's the same for all of you, whether you be producers, DJs, radio professionals, vocalists, performers. We're all passionate about music, and that's really what drives us here. So we really want to make sure you have a fantastic experience. I was trying to think also about, our passion, but what makes us different? And I think that's one thing, is our passion, who we are, but it's our connection to the music industry. We very much feel that what's important, we grew out of the music industry. You know, my background was music industry, and a lot of people that work here, and you'll hear from today, have backgrounds in the music industry. And we think that's really, really special and really, really important. It's, yes, you can come and we've got fantastic courses, we've got fantastic instructors, we've got fantastic equipment. So you're gonna, whatever course you take, you're gonna have a great course. But it's all about, for me, is a lot of important things, which are all the additional things that you know, how we connect to the music industry. So how we help you find work, how we connect you with other professionals. But also, super important is, you know, the networking, not just with us and music industry professionals, but within yourselves, between yourselves. Because in here, in this room, you are the future of the music industry, essentially. And I'll tell you a little story. When I was, just before we signed our record deal, I was learning bass. And I went to a music school, kind of like this one, but for learning instruments. And I was in a band at the time, and this was the band that eventually got signed. We were playing with the drum machine. So I had myself, we had a singer, we had all the elements, we didn't have a drummer. And I was learning bass, and in the other studio, in the other part of the school, there were people learning drums. And I thought, well, we really need a drummer. So I went up to all the drummers and said, does anyone want to join my band? Quite a lot of people laughed at me. One guy said, okay, sure, yeah, I'm interested. So he came for an audition. And essentially, this chap joined the band. And when that drummer joined the band, the band really changed, and we became a unit. And I think that's what enabled us to then go on and get this record deal. So I think the point of this story is, yes, we can help you with many, many things in your career, and it's our job to do that, to make sure you get your qualification, to make sure you get connected. But also, a lot of the people who are in this room and your fellow students are going to be super important. So please, please remember to network between yourselves. Another thing that I'm really very proud of is, over the last year or two, we've been developing a label, a record label called Point Blank Recordings. And again, it's another way that we can help you as our students, you know, do something with your music. We've got so many successful people come through this school, and they've gone on, and you'll hear about them later, to going to have success in their careers. But we really wanted to get more involved to help you and help our students, and that's really what it's all about. Yes, it's delivering the courses, but it's all the extracurricular stuff is also super important. So we've got this great label, and we've had a lot of success in the last year and a half. We've had students that have gone on to sell, do millions of streams on Spotify. We've had some students work with Ultranate. We've had a track signed to BMG. So there's lots and lots of success that's coming out of that label, and it's something I'm really passionate about. And we got sent a little clip, actually, which I just want to end. I'm going to wrap up in a minute, because I know these guys have got a lot to say, but I want to end just with this little clip of some students there. They were based in, they're graduates, and they went back to Germany, and they sent us this clip. We got this a couple of weeks ago, and well, I'll just play you the clip, because I think it speaks for itself, really.
Hi guys, we are Defnef, and our single Leave with Paul Schulze and Aisha reached 1 million streams on Spotify. Make some noise!
So that's really what it's all about, and we hope that'll be some of you guys in the near future. So thank you all, and yeah, hope you enjoy the open day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Great stuff. So welcome to the Point Blank Open Day. There are a few more people I want to quickly introduce you to. They're going to be coming up and helping me with my presentation as the event goes along. We've got Tijan, who is our Careers and Guidance Officer. He is the man to speak to when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to career prospects and how you can get started in the music industry, and he's going to be telling us a little bit more about how that works very shortly. Also, we've got one of our student ambassadors, Nadine, over here. So I think it'd be a good idea for you to hear from one of our students and see what their experience is like at Point Blank, as well as hiding in one of the studios, one of our lecturers, Linton, is going to be coming out and telling us a bit about what he teaches here at Point Blank. So let's get started, shall we? I think probably the best place to start is, by giving you a bit of a history lesson. But I think Rob probably covered some of that already. which is great. So as he mentioned, we've been around for 27 years, and I think what's really key and important to remember from what Rob said is that we come from the music industry, so we're very well connected with the music industry, and that in turn is going to help you get connected with the music industry and help you with opportunities moving forward. We're not just a school, but we're also very much still industry based. All of our lecturers, for instance, are all active industry professionals. They're still working in the music industry, they're still very well connected to the music industry, they have their ear to the ground, they know what's going on, and they're helping our students every day with their learning, but also with opportunities and networking opportunities. Now, over the years, we're very fortunate to have won many awards and accolades, and you may have seen just at the back of the room there, we have our trophy cabinet. We're very proud to have received many awards over the 27 years we've been around. Most recently, though, we got a TEF Silver Award for Teaching Excellence. We received an 86.5, excellent teaching score through the NSS survey, which I think really speaks volumes about the lecturers and the teaching that you're going to receive here at Point Blank, and also winner of the Best Independent HE School. So we're very proud of those awards over the years. Since we started off as a recording studio, and now we offer music production courses and DJing courses, we'll go through all the details very shortly. We now offer higher education and professional courses. So just a quick show of hands so we can gauge who here is interested in what. Who here today is interested in our degree programs and wants to come and do a higher education course with us? Show up your hands, please. Cool. So that's a fair few of you. Who here is interested in maybe our professional programs, so just coming to learn and pick up some skills? A few hands, fewer, okay. And who isn't sure? Hands up. A few of you? Cool. Hopefully by the end of the day, you'll have a much clearer idea as to what is best for you. One of the really important things about Point Blank is that it is a global student community. Now today we are going to be taking a look around our London campus. This is our main HQ. This is where it all really got started and where the heart of Point Blank really is. But we've got campuses all around the world. We've got one here in London, we have one in Los Angeles, Ibiza, Mumbai, we have two in China, and we also have an online school as well. So for people who maybe can't make it on campus, then you can study with us online. I'd also like to point out that you may have seen we have cameras all around the room, and I wanted to, haven't forgotten you, say a big hello to all of our online viewers. We are live streaming this whole event, and so good afternoon to everyone online. Hopefully this also gives you some information about our courses and what you might want to come and study with us. Going back to what Rob mentioned as well earlier is that, it really is a very student-centered approach. It's more than just a course. It's about helping you get access to the music industry. And one of the really key things that he mentioned is the importance of networking. The music industry is, above all, a networking industry. And it's about the people you meet, the connections you make, and how they can then provide you with opportunities moving forward. The most important people that you're going to meet in your time here at Point Blank is each other. Right? I like to recommend that people network laterally, because you're all going to be rising to the top of the music industry together. And it might be that a fellow classmate, who's in your music production class, ends up getting a job at a major record label in A&R. And all of a sudden you've got a direct contact that you can get your demos to and potentially sign to this record label. It could be that somebody is, a junior engineer at Abbey Road. Hey, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? You get into the best recording studio on the planet. So it's really about making these connections and contacts, helping you move forward in the music industry. Now, we've partnered up with some of the main industry players. So you probably recognize a few of these companies, brands like Ableton, Adam Audio, Native Instruments, SSL. They kit out all of our studios and software. We're going to be going and taking a look at all of these in more detail very shortly. I should also mention that we have two campuses here at Point Blank. This is our main one here where we teach the majority of our classes, but just a 2-3 minute walk around the corner, we have another studio campus with an additional 9 studios as well as practice facilities. As part of the course fees here at Point Blank, you have access to all of our campus facilities 7 days a week to come in and practice, to work on your assignments, your coursework, to network, to collaborate, to meet people, and to make music. So this is all available for you whilst you're a student. We don't operate on a commercial basis at all, so it's all about the students. When you finish your course, there is going to be help for you to get work and jobs, but you wouldn't have access to the studios anymore, so do make the most of it whilst you're here. Now, for those of you who are interested in our higher education programs, and I think this is the majority of you that have come here today, we have 3 start dates per year. So just a quick show of hands, who here is interested in starting with us our next term, which will be in January? A few of you. Fantastic. Have you guys already applied? Thinking about it? Cool. We can get you started on the application clinic, no problem. Who here is interested maybe in starting in April or later in the year, maybe September, October? Cool. The majority of you. Fantastic. So, to go into a bit more information about the BA Honours Degree courses, these are validated by Middlesex University. So Middlesex are our partnering university. Essentially, they quality assure and they accredit our courses. But everything is developed and it's delivered by us here at Point Blank. So you're going to be learning on campus with us in the studios. We offer 2 or 3 year options, and I'm going to be going into a bit more detail about that shortly, but essentially the 2 year is an accelerated version, and the 3 years your more traditional approach. We also have a foundation year available, so for those of you that maybe don't quite meet the entry requirements, and Claire is going to be going into a bit more detail about those shortly, the foundation year can serve as a way of entry or a stepping stone onto those degree programs. And as mentioned earlier, we have 3 enrolments per year. So unlike most universities that will just have the 1 start date in September, October, we actually have 3. So it's usually round the clock. We're looking at January, April, and October. I would recommend applying as soon as you're ready. If you want to apply today, we've got the application clinic. You can get started straight away, complete your application at home, get it sent through to the admissions team for review, and then hopefully we'll see you on one of our courses very shortly. Now, in terms of the pathways that we offer for our higher education courses, the foundation year, which is a 1-year program, can lead you on to all 4 of our degrees here. So we've got 4 different programs that we would offer. Our music production and sound engineering degree, which is going to be a bit more focused on production and studio engineering, so recording, mixing, mastering, for instance. We offer a 2 or 3 option for that. We offer a music production and DJ practice degree. That's going to be a bit more geared towards those of you that might want to produce but also perform your music, play out in clubs, and be, you know, behind the decks. We also do a music industry management degree. That's going to be very much more business focused. So if you're looking at getting a job, maybe starting up your own record label, managing artists, getting into publishing, etc., then that would be the course for you. For the music industry management degree, we only offer a 2-year option. And the reason for that is we kind of really want to replicate the fast-paced environment that the music industry is. So you can hit the ground running when you go out and get a job in the music industry, or maybe start up your own business, for instance. And new to our roster, we're now offering our music production and vocal performance degree. So that is going to be much more conducive to someone who wants to maybe produce music as well as sing, songwrite, perform, and you want to kind of be more involved on that side of it. If you have any questions, do please let us know in the Q&A at the end, and we'll be more than happy to help. Now, for those of you that maybe are interested in our professional courses, so these are the unaccredited programs. This is more so if you wanted to come and learn the skills, get the knowledge, and come in and use all the great equipment we have here. We also offer music production and sound engineering courses, DJing, radio broadcasting, vocal performance, music business, and live sound engineering. The live sound engineering course takes place at the O2 Academy at the Angel in Islington, so you're getting to work in a real live music venue over at the Angel. Now, in terms of study modes and timetables, we offer full or part-time courses. Now, our full-time courses typically, we're looking at 2 days or plus, 3 days, 4 days per week. For part-time, you'd usually be looking at 1 day per week or some evening options. You get plenty of individual attention in the classes. So as we go around a little later on and have a look in all the studios, you'll see that there are 16 workstations in each studio. That means we like to have a really intimate setting in which you get plenty of one-on-one time with our expert lecturers and access to all the latest state-of-the-art equipment available. We offer morning, afternoon, or evening classes. So typically the morning classes are from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m, 2:15. Afternoon classes from 2:45 or 3 until 7. And then the evening classes will be 2 evenings from 7:30 till 9:30. It's not for all of our programs for the evening classes, just a select few. If you have any questions about those, come and find us as well. Now, to help me give you a bit more information about our entry requirements, let's bring Claire into the fold. And yeah, it's over to you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you in real life. And it's very dangerous giving me a microphone because it's hard to get me off. Right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of entry requirements. So for our professional courses, there are no entry requirements. You can simply go onto the website and you can just book your course. You can pick whichever one you want to do, and you don't have to prove any qualifications or anything like that, so just book them. With our degree course, we're looking at B's and C's at A level, and BTEC, we're looking at distinctions and merits. For our foundation, it's pitched slightly lower at D's for A levels, and BTECs, we're looking at passes. With international qualifications, we can accept those where they're equivalent. So if they are a level 3 equivalent, and we can prove that, we can accept those qualifications. For those of you who are over 21, which is obviously no one in here, we can look at your portfolios, and we can look at your experience and try and match it to the level of each course. So if you have foundation level experience, we could put you on the foundation, or the degree, we can put you on the degree. So that's how it works. Fees and funding. We have student finance available for our higher education courses. So these are available for English students, Northern Irish, Welsh and Scottish. And that is tuition and maintenance. So you get your living costs as well covered. It's full funding, so you will get the full loan for whichever course you want to do. And for the professional courses, we don't have finance for that. Sorry. We don't have finance for that, but we can do instalments for those programs. We've got scholarships and bursaries available, but I'll go into that a little bit more detail later. To apply, we encourage you to apply through UCAS as soon as you like. We have availability for all of the intakes. So we have the September intake on there, the January intake, and the April intake. For the professional courses, yeah, you just go onto the website and you book. For the application process, we do the application form. You might have to do an admissions test or an interview. I don't know why I'm so wobbly and nervous today. It's not like me, is it? No. Yeah, so we have an admissions test, an interview, and an audition. With the audition, that is for the vocal performance people only. We might look to make you an offer at that point, and then we'll get you enrolled onto the course. Applications are automatically considered for the degree and the foundation. So if you aren't quite making the requirements for the degree, we can look at the foundation year for you. With EU and international students, you are super welcome. We have a sponsor license, and again, we'll go into that a little bit further. Contextual admissions. So this is where we consider your application as a whole. So if you've, for any reason, missed your entry requirements, we might see if we can lower the boundaries for you. There are categories where you might be in a low participation area, an area of disadvantage. You might be from a school that hasn't performed as well as some other schools. You might have been in care, or you might have refugee status. So in those instances, we might look to lower the grade boundaries for you. We have our RISE scholarships, and again, some of these are means tested. So if you are from an area of disadvantage, or you are from a low participation area, or you have a very low income, we can look to help you with the financial costs for that. We also have some industry-affiliated scholarships. So we work with Resident Advisor and Ex Animo to deliver some opportunities for you. We have a very, very dedicated student support and wellbeing team, including 2 fully qualified counsellors and student mentors, which I believe Nadine is one of those. Yeah. They work really, really hard to ensure that you're having the best experience possible here. It can be really tough, and the pressures can really build up on you. So those counsellors are, well there just to help you with anything that you're going through, whether it be work-related, home-related, anything like that. The hardship fund, again, that is to help you with if you find yourself in trouble. So if you find yourself not being able to pay your rent and things like that, that's there for you. The laptop loans, if you, for any reason, can't afford your own equipment, or if you have a laptop meltdown, we've got a collection of laptops that you can use to help you get through that period. It's all good. Student union, this is new for us, and we're very, very excited about this. So this is the NUS, and we have a team of students who put on events. They feed into the curriculum, things like that. So they are basically your representative to get things done for you. Put events on, help mould the courses and look after you as well, so they look after your welfare as well. You get the opportunity to do this from year 2 onwards. So if you ever wanted to be part of that, it's really good for your CV, and it's paid, which is ideal. Hands up, have we got any international students in here? Have we got anyone? Yeah, a few. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. We have an excellent team who know all about visas and all of the immigration implications of coming over to study. We help you from start to finish with your visas. It can be quite daunting trying to work all of that out, so we do that for you. We have a 0% refusal rate on our visas, so yeah, we're doing all right.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank
A big
you.
round of applause for Claire. So Claire is going to be hanging out for the rest of the day as well. So if you do have any questions directly for Claire, she is the head of the admissions team. So she's really the one you have to impress if you want to come and study with us. She's going to be in Studio 2 later on, answering questions in particular about scholarships, visas, and entry requirements. So do go and have a chat with her if you do have any specific questions. So next up, well, I want to bring our expert lecturer to the fold. We've got Linton here. Linton, come up on stage, please. Here he is. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good to see you all.
So this is Linton. I guess I think we should maybe start off by maybe letting us a little bit know about what you teach here at Point Blank.
I teach, I'm the module leader for Foundation Music Composition, and I teach music composition at level 4 degree level. I have been here now 9 years, I think, coming on to that, and enjoying every single term that comes up, because every single student that comes up is a fresh challenge. You've all got your own unique thing, and that's what I really want to start say to let you know that every student that comes in here is unique to every tutor, because you have something that only you can write, and we want to get that out of you. Okay, we want to really make sure that you're doing what you want to do in the industry with your skills. I like these smiling away. Great stuff. Thank you. Yeah.
Brilliant. So, I mean, we've known each other for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, your history in the music industry. How did it all get started for you, and what have you been doing?
Well,
What's led you to this point?
Well, what's led me to this point, I started off in the music industry, as most people, just fiddling around and thinking, God, that sounds good. 4 bars on the drum machine and a synthesizer. But I truly believed that what I was listening to on the radio, I could write in my head. There was nothing more. I didn't know much theory. I didn't know much about techniques on how to make the records. But I would go away from a record and totally reimagine it in my head and thinking, why am I doing that? And the real crux of it came when I started asking friends, did you feel that in the song? And they're like, yeah, it's all right. And I'm like, did you not identify this beautiful thing that happened? And I started following, as Rob said, the networking was crucial. Not being alone in the whole process, seeing other people saying, yeah, we can play together here, and I'm using theory, you're vibing, and it became this real great thing to network and see how other musicians worked, and that led me into the music industry, and I had a real quiet confidence about the songs I was writing, and thankfully they went on to do pretty well, and that's led me to here, working with these fantastic people here.
Yeah, so you mentioned obviously the importance of networking. Tell us
Massively.
who some of those people are that you met, that you networked with, and who have you worked with throughout your career?
Oh, right. Well, I just honestly, I didn't know what was so scary about going to see these people. It's like, you like music? Yeah, you've got a big checkbook. Sign me, I'm good. That's all I thought. It was brilliant. And that was the theory that I went in with. So I worked for Sony. I've worked with artists such as Dido, Gary Moore, if anyone remembers Gary Moore, the great rock guitarist, Boyz II Men, LL Cool J. I was signed to Motown Records in America by Berry Gordy himself. I've had a worldwide #1 with a group called Black Box that we might have a listen to, and various dance bands that I've been with. But I would like to say that the music side of thing was the most important, understanding how music works. Because what we tried to say to you here, we've had students start as EDM producers and leave writing R&B ballads. It's just the music will change, and the more you learn about it, the more you involve yourself in how music works, we keep an eye on that throughout your whole time at Point Blank. So if you do decide that you don't want to be a dance producer, but you want to write for music and films, we can quickly navigate you into that arena with the great tutors and resources that we have here.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a little showcase of some of your work, some of the artists you just mentioned. So let's take a look at what Linton's been doing throughout his career. Have a look at this. That's it, by the way.
I've still got the moves.
Oh, yeah. Nice stuff.
Thank
Big
you
round
very
of applause
much.
for
Thank you.
Linton's work.
Thank you very much.
Just to kind of give you an idea as to the caliber of lecturer that you're going to be learning from here at Point Blank. Before we let you go, Linton, it'd be great if maybe you could give some wise words of advice to our attendees here today and to hopefully our future students. What advice would you give?
It's pretty much what Rob was saying. I mean, you know, I'm very honoured to be working here amongst Rob and the team here, because they really do know what they're talking about. Just to let you understand, the advice that I'm going to give you is that all of those songs, a lot of them I was learning on the job. You know, I didn't just come in and say I was a professional songwriter and have these successful songs. I was learning all the time. And the advice I would give you is to really, you know, you can specialize in something if you want in a specific area, but really open yourself up to the possibilities of what music can be in the future for you, how it can look after you. I mean, I was around the world touring for 30 years, and music's given me a new life, whereas, you know, I can't do the backflips anymore on stage. You know, I could dance. It's a bit stiffer now, but actually it's led me on to be a lecturer in, as far as I'm concerned, the best music school on the planet. So the advice is to absorb everything you have here, learn from each other as well as your tutors, and do what Rob said. You are definitely the new lifeblood for the music industry. And I'd love to see everybody do what they actually want to do, their desires in the music industry, whilst learning all the tips and techniques and theory in Point Blank Music School. So
Well said. Thank you very much, Linton.
Cheers. Thank you, guys. Lovely seeing you.
So, just as I mentioned for Claire earlier, Linton is going to be hanging around for the whole day today as well. All of our panelists and guests are going to be here today. So if you've got specific questions for them, come and find them at the end of today's open day. Yeah, they'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So next up, I want to bring Tijan into the folds. Tijan is our Careers and Guidance Officer. Big round of applause. How you doing, mate?
Good. You?
Yeah, very well. Thanks for
smooth,
joining
isn't
us. I try.
Delivering this seamlessly.
I guess, yeah, it's over to you, my friend. Tell us a little bit about what you do here and how you can help these guys and girls become, I guess,
Sure.
the cream of the crop in the music industry.
Well, first and foremost, I got a mic and a crowd, so I feel like dropping a 16. But I won't do that. A few parents are like, huh, dropping a 16. Your sons and daughters will inform you later. Also, it can be somewhat daunting when you've got such a large audience in front of us. But I do feel comfortable. I do feel at home. I feel like I'm with my kind of people just by looking at the front row. I got my guy with a Notorious Biggie hoodie, my man in the middle with a PlayStation T-shirt, and on the far left we got Rick and Morty. So many, you know, cultural references that I'm comfortable with. I know I'm in good company right now, so I should be all right. We're good.
You're good. You're good.
All right, cool. So, student engagement, careers, opportunities. That's my bag. That's what I do. I always summarize it in a nutshell of saying, let's bring the industry to the students or the students to the industry, one way or the other. I already know that you guys are thinking in the right way because my interest is your career pathway into that music industry. And if you're making that first step by being here, you're already on your pathway and you're already intuitively making the right decision in terms of the trajectory for your music career. And hopefully, me, the team that surround me, the people I'm involved with, all these great practitioners and lecturers that are involved at Point Blank will be helping you, supporting you, putting the wind in your sails and making sure that you can achieve the most that you possibly can through the music industry. Now, the music industry, it's a global industry. It's worth 198 billion. Yeah? That's not bad, isn't it? A couple days' work. So 198 billion, sustaining about 200,000 jobs across the UK. But, you know, it's a global industry. So if we're talking about 200,000 jobs in the UK, expand that globally. And now think about the changes in work trends and how we can work remotely. So there are so many work opportunities across a range of sectors within the music industry. And by getting yourself qualified, up in and increasing your skills in those areas, you're just making yourself more and more palatable to the industry. We have a global community here. We have 6 campuses, 50,000 plus students, maybe 50,000 plus 100 and 200 or however many are here as well. That would be great. And we got alumni and we got 2 million followers across all our platforms, you know, YouTube, social media, Instagram, emails, etc. if you add it all up. So we've got a lot of people engaged in what we're doing. Plus we got the people that are watching us streaming now as well. I forgot about them. You guys can sign up too. I can't see you, but I know you're there watching, so come and sign up. The Point Blank ecosystem is something that we really encourage. And I think anyone that has an understanding of what it is to work in the music industry understands that nobody achieves what they're doing alone. You might have like superstars that are achieving astronomical success, but behind them are a team of people, publicists, label managers, stylists, all sorts of people that are involved in the process of them achieving their success. And that's what we try and encourage here. So by being in this environment where you're surrounding yourself with people that are also trying to achieve the same thing as you, which is a career in the music industry, you're going to be able to collaborate with the people that can help you get that success, whether that's producers, singers, DJs, artist managers. You know, you could be sitting next to the next big label manager, the next big artist manager, etc. So I suggest you network. The power of that networking and the people that you know will really help you in terms of the pathway to success within your career. And of course, we have a very student-focused approach. The biggest advertisement for what we do, and the biggest, you know, the way we get trophies, the way we can gloat about our achievements is through your success. If you guys are out there killing it, active in the music industry, you know, chart success, whatever it may be, the biggest underground banger, touring across the globe as DJs, whatever it may be, that is the biggest advertisement for what we do. So your success is our success, and we have a vested interest in making sure that you guys are doing the most within the industry. That's the win for us. So we really want to help with that. Well, that was just one slide, you know. Don't worry, I ain't got that many, so we're all good. We're all good. So how do I help? How do I help you guys? Virtual drop-in sessions, one-to-ones. Yeah. Not only do I do this to large audiences, I do bar mitzvahs, I do weddings. No, I also do one-to-ones via Zoom. Actually, that's one of the beautiful things of Zoom. It's given me the opportunity to interact with people. And during those one-to-ones, we can do anything from a specific job application, or is it a CV that you need improving? Do you just want to tell me about some of the plights, the difficulties you're having within the music industry? Do you want me to listen to some stuff and maybe feed it onto our A&R team? However I can help and support you, that's what I do. So I have allocated appointment slots. I sit and I speak to people. We talk about their music career. We see how we can help. And it's about getting you guys involved in the industry. We're here to help, and we literally do it on a one-to-one basis. That's the same. I know a lot of people are here thinking about coming on campus, but it's the same for online. Those people that are watching on the stream thinking maybe I'll do this remotely. We still do this. We provide this level of support across every discipline, across every course. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We're here to help. As I said, we do the CV writing applications, interview tips, and I also like this. We're well connected. people from the industry come to us. A lot of the time I'll be proactive and go and try and find opportunities, but opportunities fall into my inbox because they know that we have a hub of amazing talent in this environment. And so people are like, we need an engineer. We need someone to do an internship here, there. And if I'm speaking to you guys, developing a rapport, then we can identify the great talent that lies here and build a bridge between those people that are sourcing talent. So we do that through one-to-ones and various formats. Events and opportunities. I'm very proud of the amount of events we do. We do them in this space. We do them online. We do them however we can. And we bring people from all over the different areas of the music industry. And this is a fantastic environment, you know, to do a Q&A, because it's not like there's a million people and you're somewhere at the back and he looks like a microdot way down in the distance. It's an intimate setting. You can actually probe some brilliant minds and ask them how they've gone about achieving what they've achieved within the music industry. So there's times when you've got those questions that are like, well, you know, how did you do that? Or how do I incorporate this into my production? Or who do I approach if I need to achieve X, Y, Z? You can ask those questions directly. And I've been very proud of some of the people that we've sourced and the people within my team that we've sourced. And I utilize all our amazing lecturers to find out who they're friends with, who they know on what label. We get them in here. We've had label managers, we've had artists, we've had, you know, A&R people. We've had people from, like I said, a wealth of different people. Some of the names here that you can see, the likes of Annie Mac, Nile Rodgers, Cole Cox, Basement Jaxx, Armin van Buuren, Chemical Brothers. I've brought the likes of Akala in. We've had Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, who, you know, managed Destiny's Child. So many people. The list goes on and on and on. Gary Kemp, who had a massive career writing massive hits for the likes of Spandau Ballet. And you know what? We've had over 200 events in the last year, so forgive me if I forget a few names, but all of the people that have come are active practitioners, killing it within the music industry, doing big things. And again, it gives you the opportunity to speak to them. And of course, as well, I can see here, thrown in as a last-minute twist, I didn't expect, but here we go, the Alumni Artist Agency. So once you've graduated from here, we don't just go, okay, good luck, see you later, well done. We also have an agency involved where we support our alumni. We continue to provide them with one-to-ones. We continue to give them mentoring. We continue to support them with their releases and give them information in ways in which we can help. And we can, so your course doesn't just end with, oh, okay, I've done my degree 2 years, 3 years, or I've done my professional course, over and out the door. No, we still have services here that we can support you with. A&R mentoring. This rather dashing, handsome gentleman whose look is quite serious there, but actually he's a really charming fella. It goes by the name of Kwame Kwarten. He's our senior A&R here. He works on the label, and he provides a lot of mentoring for our students. And he's the perfect position and perfectly placed to provide this mentoring because he's achieved a lot of success with well-established artists, the likes of Laura Mvula, Shola Amar, many, many more. Rumour, to name a few, and a lot of grassroots and emerging artists now that are going on to do great things. And I've seen him literally take an artist who was achieving maybe 100 streams or 100 monthly listeners to achieving 1 million streams. And he was very much involved. Rob showed a clip earlier of a couple of the DJs saying, "Yay, we've met 1 million streams." Well, Kwame had a massive part to do with that success. And he's here on a regular basis providing mentoring and helping people and feeding individuals into our label here. So you get the opportunity to speak with him. He's also toured with the likes of he's succeeded as his own artist as part of a band from The Influence, and toured with the likes of Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown. If you don't know Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, the fire exit is just this way, and you're probably in the wrong building right now. Point Blank Recordings, which I mentioned, Rob's mentioned, it's a fantastic way of us supporting the people that are here. Again, we don't want talent to walk out the door. If we identify great talent, why don't we invest in it? We have these massive platforms. All these followers are across all our platforms like YouTube, all our social media platforms, the 2 million plus followers. Let's utilize that as a marketing tool. Let's showcase the talent that we have. Let's put on events to give them the ability to showcase their talent. Let's invest in them. And I really, truly, truly hope that some people amongst here are going to sign up, will be the next people that we're investing in to release on the label. And the label already devotes, as we said, develops and promotes Point Blank talent, but also it's A&R, artist development, marketing, publishing. Luke's rubbing his hands like, come on, T, man, get on with this, mate. I'm going. Right, last slide. Alumni showcase. That's not me. Yeah, that was my time. I'm done. I was embellishing it. I was enjoying it. Anyway, there's many things that we can do. I hope you appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you when you sign up at Point Blank. You're already making the right move. You can do your sign up thing there if you're querying. Let's go. Peace.
Thank you very much, Tijan. Cheers. Yeah, next time he'll do the 16 bars. Thank you very much, Tijan. And he's going to be hanging around again, as I mentioned, as all our guests. So if you have any questions for him, do go and find him. He's going to be more than happy to help. Now, last but not least, but waiting very patiently, I want to bring Nadine up with me. So Nadine is one of our class ambassadors, student ambassadors. How you doing, Nadine?
Hi everyone. Hello. Oh,
Yeah.
Hi.
You're
Hi
on?
everyone.
So we thought it would be great for you to hear from one of our students, see what it's like for them as an experience here at Point Blank. So I guess Nadine, tell us a little bit about what you're studying here at Point Blank.
Okay, well currently I'm studying music production and sound engineering, the degree, 3 years. I started the foundation year, September 2019. And I finished that in 2020. But even before that, January 2019 was actually the beginning of my journey at Point Blank. I was doing the singing award course. And during that, I loved the experience here. So I saw that they do degrees here, and I decided to take up the degree and complete the foundation year. And now I'm in second year of my degree.
Cool. So you've been here, so 2-3 years nearly.
It's been 3 years, yeah.
3 years. So what's been your sort of highlight so far? What's really kind of stuck out in terms of your experience at Point Blank so far?
My highlight would be the connections that you make, because everyone is so talented. You meet so many different people from different walks of life. Everyone is so talented, and I've made such good music with so many people that I've met here. And it's just a really good experience to just build your confidence as well. I would say it's more of an experience than education. Like it's more of like an experience, it feels.
Yeah. And so when you graduate, sort of what are you looking to achieve? What are your career goals when you finish your course? What are you hoping to do in the music industry?
I would love to start my own production company, make my own music. I already do make my own music, write my own music, and go in the studio, but make a solid income from it and be financially free, and just be an entrepreneur and mentor young artists in the industry that want to be successful and need some guidance or that kind of thing.
Cool. And I think you do a bit of mentoring here, right, already? Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about what that involves?
Yes. So I basically kind of befriend potential students, anyone that's got questions about their experience at Point Blank. I can answer questions, and it's a really good opportunity for me as well to network with potential students, and I'm able to like express my experience at Point Blank, which I love doing because I love being here. Yeah.
Brilliant. And so last but not least, I guess, if you could give any advice to our attendees here today, what would it be?
I would say like make the most of your experience. Don't take it for granted. Put in 150% effort. Stay after school. Put in extra time, because you're coming to be here, and you've chosen to be here. So just really make the most of it and network. Don't think about things too like deeply. Just try and like make the most of your experience. And we've got like studios that you can book in a studio 2-3 times a week. Even if you don't want to work on your current like your homework or what you've got to do, your assignment, you can do vocal training. There's so many things you can do. So just like broaden your experience and your talent and your capabilities here.
Cool. Well, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
Big round of
you.
applause for Nadine. So yeah, Nadine's going to be hanging out as well. So any questions you might want to hear from one of our students, then do please come and find her as well. Now, before we break up and go and check out all the studios, I just wanted to quickly share with you a video just showcasing some of our alumni, some of the talent we've been very fortunate to have come through our doors here at Point Blank. And as Tijan mentioned earlier, for us, the most important thing is that you make it and become successful in the music industry. And that's, what means we are successful in the music industry. So take a look at this video, just a few examples of some of the students that we've had.
You cut me open and I keep bleeding, keep bleeding, love. I keep bleeding and I keep bleeding, love. Keep bleeding, keep if you just wanna keep me on repeat, and here we go.
Vamos a ponernos creativos, vamos a meternos en el lío. Vamos a hacerlo fácil, ve conmigo, pero no nos vamos a enamorar. No hay que involucrar los sentimientos, vamos a vivir este momento. Vamos a comerlo en fuego lento. Recuerda, no nos vamos a enamorar. Una aventura.
Cool. So there you have it. Just a few examples of some of our alumni. You might have seen our little wall of fame over there, which features some of our guest artists, but also previous students. So do take a look at that. That's it for the presentation for now. Hope you enjoyed it. What's going to happen now is we're going to break up into 3 groups, and we're going to go and take a look at the studios in a bit more detail. Now, the first group is going to be coming with me, and we're going to be starting in Studio 1. So the first 4 rows, and then the bench here. If you want to make your way into Studio 1, and then we'll get cracking. The further 4 rows after that are going to be going into Studio 4 with Doug, who's over here, and the bench as well. And then the back of the room, please. If you can go in Studio 6 with John, and we'll get cracking with the tours. You can basically, rewatch those videos online through the VLE. So I think we've got everybody in now. So this is Studio 1. We've got 7 studio classrooms here at the Osman Road campus, which is our main campus. And I guess really kind of the main showpiece and centerpiece we have here is the SSL. So this is one of our recording channel, solid state logic, duality delta console. You'll tend to find these types of mixing consoles in most high-end professional recording studios. The idea is we want you to be working with the latest, the best state-of-the-art equipment out there. We want you to be prepared when you go and get a job in the music industry. You know what you're working with, and you're working with the best kit there is. Let's come in and make our ways all the way around. Cool. Cool, quite a large group today. Wonderful. So, in this studio in particular, we're going to be focusing on a few key modules as part of our music production and our sound engineering degree. Those are sound engineering, so that's really when we're going to be working in the recording studio, but in particular with the live rooms. You'll see through the glass here, we have the live room, and you'll be working in the control room, the live room, recording instruments, working with session musicians. We bring in professional session musicians for you to work with. But if you also play instruments, anyone play instruments here? Show of hands. A few of you, cool. Bring those instruments in, and you can record them, you can work with them, and you can capture those sounds for the productions and the music that you're recording. Following on from sound engineering, we're going to be looking at a module called Art of Mixing, and this is where we're really going to start enhancing the sonic qualities of the track. So all the kind of production stuff and the creative stuff is done. You've done that, it's recorded. It's now about making the music kind of come to life. It's live and breathe. And so we're looking at techniques like EQing, compression, adding effects, etc., to really kind of give another dynamic to the track, making it sound loud, punchy, and professional. Something we're going to be proud to send to a record label for serious consideration. Following that, another module that we'll be looking at is mastering. And this is kind of the dark art, where we're looking at the final stereo image of kind of what it takes to get that track ready to be released, and the different techniques we can employ depending on you know, where it's going to be released, whether it's a digital release or released on vinyl or another format, for instance. This studio doubles up as a practice studio as well. So there's a third module as part of our fourth module, I should say, as part of the degree, which is called Advanced Recording Mixing. When you finish that module, your teacher will sign you off if they're happy with your progress, and you'll be able to come in and use the SSL independently. So, for instance, we don't typically teach on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, or in the evenings. It's a great time for you to come in and get to use, you know, a six-figure mixer that you might not be able to otherwise have access to. So do make the most of all the kit that we have here when you're studying with us at Point Blank. Okay? Cool. Now, we're going to go through this little secret passageway over here. If you see on the left-hand side, there's the live room. Take a look in the live room, but we'll go off into Studio 2, and then we'll take a look at the next recording studio. Yeah, so if this group will come in first, and then we'll just hang out here. Just another thing I should quickly mention whilst we filter over into there, all of our classrooms have 16 workstations. So that's the maximum number of students you have in any one class, and everything is provided for you here at the school. I'll go into a bit more detail about that shortly. Let's go on into Studio 2. If you take a look on the left, though, you'll see that we have the live room. So it's got all the instruments and everything you need set up in there, but you can bring in your own instruments as well, should you wish to. Cool, so if I could ask everybody to, as we're a very large group today, to make their way in every single nook and cranny of the studio, please. That way we can really get to see everything. I'm going to stand right here, but you can stand next to me if you like, there's no problem. And we'll wait for everybody to come through. So as I was mentioning to the group, just as you were filtering in each of our studios we have 16 workstations. That's the maximum number of students we'll have in any one class. So it's an intimate sized classroom where you get plenty of individual attention, one-on-one time with our expert lecturers, and all of the equipment is provided. Guys, do please come in, try and filter in, squeeze in as much as you can everywhere, because we are a very, very large group indeed today. All of the equipment that you see here at Point Blank is provided for you. There's nothing you need to bring. Some students like to bring in their own laptop because they like working off their own templates and samples, but otherwise everything you need is here. So you'll see a typical production setup is a Mac, will have a sound card, MIDI controller, and then all the software is booted up onto that. I'll go into a bit more information later. The main thing in Studio 2 here, though, is that this is another one of our recording studios. So we have another 48-channel console in here. This one's from Audient, and the idea, again, is that you get to work on different types of setups, so that if you do want to become an engineer in a recording studio, you've got experience working on a variety of different consoles, and you can pretty much transfer those skills fairly easily into any other recording studio environment. Over at our other site at Penn Street, which is a 3-minute walk around the corner, we have 2 more recording studios. We're running a 32-channel Oram BEQ mixer, and we're also running a 24-channel Valve mixer from TL Audio. If you're into Valve and you like that nice, warm, round, sweet sound, I definitely recommend booking some time in Studio 8 on the Valve mixer because, yeah, it's very nice to work with indeed. So do make the most of all of the equipment that you have access to here when you're studying. Okay, cool. Let's go through that door now, and then we're going to go into Studio 4 across the hall, which is our DJ studio. So if you want to filter your way through, please. Okay, so if you want to squeeze through. All right. So hopefully we have some DJs with us here today. Any DJs? No DJs? Yeah? One there. There's one. There's one. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Make your way in, please. All the way around again. We should be able to fill in every single space. So yeah, I guess you probably can tell this is our DJ studio. So if you're going to be studying our music production and DJ practice degree or DJ performance degree, then you'll be spending a lot of time in here. So Studio 4 is fully kitted out and we're sponsored by Pioneer, as you can probably tell. So they provide us with pretty much all of their equipment. You'll be working with everything from, you know, vinyl turntables. So you'll see we have the PLX 1000 vinyl turntables. We're also running some old trusty Technics 1210s, 1200s. Right up to CDJs through the whole range. We've recently been kitted out with a brand new CDJ 3000 Nexus, which you'll find pretty much in every sort of high-end nightclub venue out there. And we're also going to be learning and teaching you how to work with digital DJ software systems. So we work with 3 programs in particular. They are Serato, Recordbox, and Tractor DJ. The idea, again, is that we want you to be proficient working with all the equipment that you see here in the studio. You know, a true DJ can go to any venue, bar, whatever it is, and can deliver a performance with whatever equipment is in front of them. So you'll have the ability to do that, and you'll know exactly what you're working with. I'd recommend DJing to everybody here for 2 main reasons. The first reason is it's great fun, and it's a great way of being sociable and meeting people. Being in the music industry means going out to venues, clubs, bars, concerts, and meeting people and networking. We've talked about it again and again and again throughout this event. But networking really is the name of the game in the music industry. The more people you know, the more contacts you have, the more opportunities are going to come your way. It's as simple as that. So recommend, you know, getting involved in DJing as it gives you that kind of social outlet to start meeting people. The other reason why I recommend DJing to a lot of music producers in particular is that the music industry has changed a hell of a lot in the past 25, 30 years, right? Artists, musicians, you know, and bands, etc., don't really tend to make that much money from selling music anymore. People don't go to the record shop and buy CDs or records. People download their music for free online. Unfortunately, they pirate it, or now a very popular way of accessing music is streaming. So things like Spotify and Apple Music, right? Which means that artists are looking for new ways to make money, and performing has become a massive part of their income, right? It used to be that you would go and, you know, on a world tour to promote your new album for sale. Nowadays, you know, you'll release the album to promote the world tour, and they're going to be making way more money from gigging and performing than they are going to be from selling records. That's why a lot of music producers have had to start becoming DJs, and in turn, a lot of DJs are having to play catch up with the music producers. So the two really go hand in hand, and that course really complements itself really well. So I'd most definitely recommend, if you're a music producer, to have some outlets to perform, and DJing can really help you with that. Okay? Cool. Let's go on next door into Studio 5, which is our radio studio. So if you all tuck in, and then we'll have a quick look in there. Hopefully we've got a few radio students here today. Anyone interested in radio? You are. Fantastic. Cool. We'll go into a bit more detail about that very shortly. So again, if we could please make our way all the way in, as far as we can go in, please, that would be great. So Studio 5, as we have more people filter in. Again, if we could just have everyone in as far as we can go, please. So Studio 5 is our radio broadcasting studio. We do teach some other courses in here as well, so things like music business. We might do a bit of music production as well. But the main course that we teach is the radio course. You'll notice just behind my colleague Tony here, we have our playout desk. So this is kind of your traditional radio playout desk that you'll find in a lot of high-end or kind of, you know, broadcast stations. We're running a Myriad playout system, which is pretty much the norm, the industry standard. So it's all software based. Back in the day, you would have had CDs, mini discs, all sorts of stuff where you would have been able to play whatever music you wanted to play. But everything now is going to be located on a central system and then played out. So you'll find a lot of radio stations will have a variety of tracks that they want to play. And then they can basically load up the whole show in chronological order as to what they want to play out and when, and basically, you know, plan a whole set or show ahead. Now, as part of the radio production course, radio broadcasting diploma, it's called. You'll be learning how to produce, present, prepare, and deliver a radio professional broadcast. Now, going back to the whole importance of networking here at Point Blank, of all of the courses that we teach here at Point Blank, the radio course has one of the highest success rates. On more than one occasion, we've had every single student in the class go and get a job in broadcasting, whether it be at the BBC or other commercial radio stations. They've gone and got jobs, and it proved to be one of the most, lucrative areas for our students to get involved in. That's great news for everybody else here who maybe is a music producer, because it's all about networking, right? If you happen to know, what's your name? Rihanna. Rihanna wants to do radio production. So if Rihanna's working at the BBC in 5 years' time and she's doing the breakfast show, for instance, then you want to make sure you have her telephone number, right? Because potentially you can have your demos played to the whole country, right? And that's what we're talking about here in the music industry. That's why networking is so important. You never know where one of your fellow classmates and where they might be in the future in the music industry. So make sure you keep the feelers out. You keep going to the pub, buy each other drinks, be friendly with one another, because you never know where it's going to take you moving forward. Okay? Cool. Let's go on into Studio 6 and check out one of the production studios. Okay, so for Studio 6, if everyone could come in again. So normally our studios will, pardon me, will house 16 students, as you've seen. Could I just ask you at the back there, sorry, we've got a camera right behind you, which would be great if it points. Yeah, say hi. But yeah, it'd be great. So just so you can see the whole room, so everyone online can see us. Thank you very much. So do please come in. So I think the majority of you here today, hopefully, are here to learn about music production, right? Is that what most of you are interested in? Yeah? Cool. So Studio 6, Studio 7 next door, which we're going to go and check out in a second. If you could make your way around, please. All the way around. Thank you very much. Is really where you're going to be learning the production modules that we teach here at Point Blank. So as I mentioned earlier in Studio 2, everything you need is provided here at the school. One of our partners is Native Instruments. You'll notice we've got a lot of Native Instruments kit in here. But essentially you're working with an iMac, a sound card, a MIDI controller, and we've got some other peripheral products as well that you're going to be working with. We work with two DAWs in particular. These are Logic Pro and Ableton Live. Who here works with Logic Pro? Cool, few of you. Ableton? And who works with something else? What would you work with? FL? 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 Cool. So the main two that we work with, yeah, are Logic and Ableton. There's an initial module when you start our courses called Music Production, and that's a software-specific module. So everybody in the class is going to be learning the same DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. So everyone's going to be either Logic or Ableton. Thereafter, all of the other modules that we teach are cross-platform. So it doesn't matter what DAW you work with, what we're teaching in that class is applicable to both surfaces. So if you're learning music composition, for instance, which is one of the next modules that we teach, you can apply compositional techniques to either of those programs. So it's not really relevant which one you're working with. But we recommend sticking with one and sticking with it throughout. Once you understand your DAW and your main kind of workstation inside and out, then you'll find it very easy to start transitioning and putting those skills into use elsewhere into other DAWs. And you'll see a lot of professional music producers, they usually work with several different DAWs because there might be features they like in one over features in another, and then they'll usually bounce audio back into their main kind of DAW and finish off their projects that way. So you'll see that you'll start picking up working with others. We do work a little bit with Pro Tools in the third year of our degree, in particular when you're doing advanced recording and mixing, which is over in Studio 1, where we started with. So that will happen in the latter stages of your degree. Now, who here plays an instrument? I think we had a couple of people earlier on. Who here is classically trained, so reads music? Cool, a few of you, fantastic. So that usually tends to follow kind of the usual rule of thumb here at Point Blank. A lot of our students are usually quite technically gifted. They can produce music, make beats, get started working with a DAW, but they usually don't have a formal musical background. When I started making music, that was really the situation for me. And I often found myself, and I don't know if this might be the case for some of you too, where I start off with a tune, get a good groove going, a good loop, and then I just hit a wall, and I never really knew how to get my tracks finished or getting to where I wanted them. Has that problem happened to anybody here as well? Yeah, a few nodding heads. So it took me a bit of a while to realize that was a compositional problem. When I started learning a bit more about music theory, a bit more about kind of composition, how music is structured, how it's arranged, things like chords, riffs, hooks, harmonies, scales, keys, it helped me get a better understanding of the kind of logic behind music. That's really why logic is called logic, because there is a logic to it. They say mathematicians make great musicians because there is a certain way of doing it, a certain way that sounds pleasing and good to the ear. And once you get an understanding of that, it allows you to really start being a lot more creative with your production. You can get your ideas out way more fluidly and just enjoy the whole production process. And that's when we're going to start looking at kind of meatier, more advanced stuff. So we'll start moving on to a module called sound design. Does anyone hear sound designing? Yeah, so you're working with some software synths maybe, or hardware synths. What ones are you working with? Serum, anything else? Wavetable synths, cool, Ableton, yeah. Great, so we work predominantly, well, with all of those software synths, but a lot with the native instrument software synths. So programs like Contact, Massive, Reactor, FM8, Absent, etc. Essentially, what sound design allows you to do is really start creating and developing your own unique sounds. And this is really, really, really important when you're making music, because you don't want to sound like everybody else. You need to have your own signature to your music, which helps you stick out and stand out from the rest of the crowd. If you listen to any established music producer, you'll usually have a kind of, a sound that you can associate with them. To give you an example, if you listen to a Daft Punk tune, like within like half a second, you can pretty much tell it's Daft Punk, because they've literally invested, decades of time into developing that unique signature sound that you associate with them. And if you have that same thing, it's going to help you stand out, and it's going to help you be noticed a bit more in the music industry. So that's really key. Another great thing that sound design is going to help you do is help you find work in multimedia. Now, this is where the majority of our music production students actually end up enjoying careers in the music industry, right? That's writing music for film, it's writing music for television, it's writing music for radio. And any guesses for the biggest entertainment industry in the world? Gaming, exactly. The video games industry outsells the music industry and the movie industry combined year on year, and has done for the past 5 or 6 years. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there are a lot of opportunities going in there. A lot of our students go and find jobs working in the video games industry as music producers. And you can make all kinds of sounds or music for video games. Everything from background and Foley, sound effects, someone, programming the sounds and bleeps and blops that you might hear on the menu. Somebody is on a computer like this one making those sounds, and sound design allows you to have those skills and to do those exact sorts of roles in the music industry. So what we're trying to really give you here at Point Blank is give you a 360-degree view of the music industry and all the different types of career paths and opportunities that are available to you. And it might be that you find a particular area of the music industry that you weren't aware of before, that you really want to focus on and enjoy a career in later on. It's a bit like what Linton was saying earlier on. You might come in thinking you're an EDM producer and come out, making R&B ballads, or, working in video game music, for instance. So keep an open mind and, just try and absorb and learn as much as you can. All right? Cool. Let's go on into Studio 7 and we'll wrap up the tour. See, you've gone for the pizza already. Good stuff. Tuck in. Cool. So we got one more studio before we go back to the hub for. I'm going to pop here next to you. So come in again. We'll just try and squeeze in all. Bear in mind there is a camera at the back there, so we can leave that free so everyone can see online as well. I've kept my mic because I'm speaking to everybody who's logged on to YouTube and watching us right now. So give them a wave, say hello. We don't know where they're logging in from, but hopefully somewhere nice and sunny. And do make your way in, and we'll wrap up the tour in Studio 7. So Studio 7 is very much like Studio 6 next door. So this is really one of our production studios. I guess one of the main kind of key differences you might notice in here is that we have the push-to controllers. So it's a bit more Ableton focused in here. So if you're going to be learning music production of Ableton, you might be spending a bit more time in Studio 7 than you might be in Studio 6, which we could say would be maybe a little bit more geared towards Logic. If you all want to come in, please, we'll try and squeeze in. Try and squeeze in as much as you can. I know it's a bit like sardines in here. It's not ideal. But hopefully everyone can get in and take a look at the kit. Great. So as I was mentioning, we will be doing a bit more work with Ableton in here than we would do next door with Logic. Now there are some modules that I haven't really talked about yet, but that I think are probably the most important modules that we teach here at Point Blank. And these are our music business or music industry modules. Now is anyone here interested specifically in our music industry management degree? So the kind of more business focused degree? No? Oh, that's a shame. Well, not to worry, because if you are doing our other degrees, it includes music business, because having an understanding of the music business is critical to your success in the music industry, right? It's one thing being a music producer in the studio all day long, making bangers after bangers after bangers, but if no one's listening to that music, you're not going to go very far in the music industry, right? Remember what I've been saying, what we've all been saying as we've been going around, it's about networking, it's about, contacts, and widening that network of contacts to help you with opportunities in the music industry. So the more people you meet, the more opportunities you're going to get. And those music industry modules are going to help you get a better fundamental understanding of the structure of the music industry and the different types of people you're going to be meeting on a daily basis. It might not be as exciting and as interesting as making music and being creative, but trust me, it accounts for 50% of everything that you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis in your careers. Things like dealing with managers, accountants, lawyers, negotiating contracts, making sure that you're earning from your music and you're not being taken advantage of. If you have an understanding of that, you'll know how to protect yourself and you'll know how to sell your music and market yourself. You'll understand how to brand yourself, how to use the technology that we have today to get your music out there and to be heard, how to get the most out of your record label, how to get the most out of your manager, your publicist, understand licensing, sync, copyright, all of these things that a lot of creatives tend to just forget about because they're very busy making music in the recording studio. But like I've said already, is super, super, super critical. So these modules are there to really kind of like complement your courses and to help you get that next level further and take that step as professionals into the music industry. Okay, cool. Well, listen, that's it for the tour from me for now. Let's all head back into the hub, grab your seats, grab a slice of pizza, have a drink. We're going to do the deconstruction with Ski, and then any questions you have at the end, keep them for the Q&A, and we'll be more than happy to answer those there. All right? Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. I remember you. We met. How you doing? Yeah. Sorry. Okay, everyone, if you could all grab your seats, grab a quick slice of pizza and something to eat, and we'll be passing over to Ski for his deconstruction. Hope you enjoyed the tours. Yeah? Not bad? Good. Come in. So hopefully everyone's still got their seats.
and this and that as well.
Great stuff. Okay, hopefully everyone's settled down or is settling down. I think maybe we'll give you a minute or two to take your seats. I hope you all enjoyed taking a look around our studios, and it's given you a bit of a better idea as to what's in store for you if you do decide to come and study with us here at Point Blank. This is very capable Ski Oakenfull, who is head of education here at Point Blank. I don't know if you've been fortunate enough already to see one of his deconstructions perhaps on YouTube, but he's going to be doing one live for us today.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So what's in the bag today?
I'll reveal all in a minute.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
don't want to give it away
I
yet.
won't ask anymore. Well, listen, thank you all again for your time today. Hope you enjoyed the tour. I'll leave you with Ski, and then we'll all meet up thereafter for the Q&A. Enjoy.
Thanks, Luke. Okay, everyone. Well, I'll kick off. As Luke said, my name is Ski Oakenfull, and I'm the Head of Education and Curriculum here at Point Blank, and also an Ableton Certified Trainer. My role at Point Blank is to oversee the design of all the courses and working with our program leaders and module leaders, designing all the curriculum and content, as well as kind of having oversight of all the teaching and learning at Point Blank. So what I'm going to do today is try to give you an example, a bit of a feel for the teaching style at Point Blank, and I'm going to be doing a deconstruction. And the track I'm going to be looking at today is by The Weeknd. It's called Blinding Lights. So just to give you a little bit of background about what a deconstruction is, it's something that is a technique that we employed in the first module that I wrote called EMC, Electronic Music Composition. And it's essentially teaching a whole range of different disciplines, from music theory to production to sound design to arrangement to composition, and it's through the medium of a well-known track. So finding something that's kind of well-known and just figuring out, okay, what are the notes being played, what are the chords, what are the sounds being used, and to make that process a lot more fun and exciting. As an alternative or an addition to kind of sitting down and learning scales, which, I'm not saying is a bad thing to do, but it's hopefully a more fun, engaging process. So, this is the track we're going to be looking at. And before we get going, it's always good to look at a few fun facts, a bit of background behind the track. So it was written by quite a big team of writers, as hit songs often are. So we've got Abel Tesfaye, who is aka The Weeknd, Ahmed Bolsh, Jason Quinnerville, Max Martin, and Oscar Holter. And you can see the production team there on the right-hand side of Abel, Max, and Oscar. Max Martin, if you don't know him, is a huge producer. He's behind a lot of the massive hits over the last 10 or 15 years. The track was released a couple of years ago, in November, actually 29th of November 2019. Came out on XO Republic, and it was from The Weeknd's album After Hours from 2020. Performance-wise, as I mentioned, it was a huge hit, #1 in 32 countries, and I checked yesterday just to update this, and it, so far has 601 million views on YouTube. So, getting close to 1 billion. Style-wise, a number of different styles really, synthwave, synth pop, electro pop, and very much kind of influenced by the 80s, as I will show you in a minute. But I think, before we get into the actual deconstruction, let's listen to a bit of the track, if you haven't heard it before, and remind ourselves of what it sounds like. So here we go, here's a bit of the video. This video, by the way, is filmed in Las Vegas and features a beautiful Mercedes convertible. So here we go.
I'm going through a
So quite sort of Halloween themed, actually, that video. Certainly no expense spared. Now, I mentioned before that it had a bit of an 80s vibe to it, and after a little bit of investigation, I found this track for the maybe slightly kind of older members of the audience. This is by Rod Stewart, and it's called a track he did in 1981 called Young Turks. Have a listen to this. Quite similarity, maybe? Same kind of beat. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, I don't know if there was any kind of writing credits involved there, but definitely cited as a bit of an influence for the track. Okay, so let's head over to this screen here. Now, does anyone know what software this is? Fantastic, yes, Ableton Live. So this is one of the DAWs, digital audio workstations, that we teach at Point Blank. Ableton Live and Logic Pro, and also Pro Tools as well. But our philosophy here at Point Blank is transferable skills. So we try not to focus too much on the specific features, even though we cover everything. The idea is that you learn how to use the software so that you can use other software as well. You can transfer those skills. I particularly like Ableton Live, initially because it has two different views. We have this session view here, and also the arrange view. And the session view allows us to record loops or clips. It's a little bit like a kind of spreadsheet in a way. You can kind of insert all these little clips, and then you can mix and match them, and you can actually build up an arrangement on the fly, which you can then kind of play live and capture into the arrange view. But for today, we're just going to be using this session view. And what's even better as well is this setup I've got here. This is Ableton Push, or Push 2. And this works really well in conjunction with the software, so that I can play in sounds, I can record into the clips, and I can actually arrange a lot of the song actually just from the hardware. And what's great about that is it kind of takes you away from the screen, allows you to kind of use your other senses. And it's a really great way to work and perform live as well. Okay, so let's get started. What I've got here is some sounds that I've actually put onto the different tracks. I've got a beat, a bass, some chord sounds. And what we're going to do is just build up the different sections of the track. So first of all, I'm going to put in the beat. And for this, I've got a kick drum, snare drum, a hi-hat, and this clap sound here. So I'm going to record something just into the first 2 bars. And it's quite a fast tempo. If I just put the metronome on, quite fast, 171 BPM. So let's record it in. It goes like this. All right, so I'm just auditioning that. When I'm ready to actually play it in, I'm just going to hit this button here, the overdub button. It's going to record it in. Take the metronome off. And you can see here, we've got our first 2-bar pattern. The next thing I want to put in is some hi-hat. And there's a great feature here, which is the repeat button, which means that I can just hold down the pad and it will just play. These are 8th notes. I can change it to 16th notes, 13th notes, and I can just hold it down. And when I'm ready, I can record it in. Great. Okay, so we've made a start. Now, there's this clap sound here. Take the repeat off. This comes at the end of an 8-bar pattern. So now I've got 2 bars. I'm just going to press this button here, which is double loop, and I'm going to press it twice, and it's now going to turn it into an 8-bar pattern. And I can just select the last 2 bars and just overdub this clap sound. Great. So now turn it back into an 8-bar loop. And we've got our first clip, which is amazing. And I can press this button here, which is the session view. And this will show me, I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit bright there. If we can turn the lights down a bit. But I can now actually duplicate this clip down to these different scenes. And these horizontal lines are called scenes. And I can trigger these scenes here, and it will trigger the clips inside those scenes. So I'm going to duplicate this clip down to all 4 scenes there, because the beat is going to be going through the whole track. Okay, so we've got our first part. The next thing we're going to be looking at is the bass line. And this is a good opportunity to just have a look at some simple music theory. So I'm going to bring up my VMPK, virtual MIDI keyboard, and also some chords. Okay, so when we're doing these deconstructions, the first thing I look for is the key signature, and this is going to determine the notes that are being played in the track, and also the chords as well. So this particular track is in C minor. Maybe let's get a better sound. There we go. So these are the notes: C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and C. Okay, so now we know what the notes are, we can then start thinking about what the chords are going to be. And I've written these chords down here. You'll see it's F minor with a 2, C minor, E flat, and B flat. And you can see underneath there are some Roman numerals. Well, the Roman numerals indicate the degree of the scale that that chord starts on. So this is in C minor, as I said. C we call the tonic, and also the first degree. So it would be the 1 chord. So that's why where it says C minor, that's the 1 chord. Now, with the bracket there, that indicates an inversion of the chord. So here we have what's called the root position. So the first note here, the third and the 5th. The first inversion is where you take this bottom note here and you move it up an octave. So that's the first inversion. If you then take the bottom note of that and take that up an octave, that's the second inversion. You then do it again, and you're back to the root position. So we have the first chord here as F minor, second inversion, C minor, root position, E flat, first inversion, B flat major, second inversion. Don't worry if that's all kind of new. That's something we cover in our music composition module, which is actually, if you're doing the longer degree program, that comes in your first term. So, you know, you can learn the fundamentals of music theory. Plus, we have some other workshops every term, you know, specifically about music theory. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the bass line now. And for the bass line, I'm going to be playing the root positions of these chords. So the F, the C, E flat, and the B flat. And I'm going to play it over the top of that beat. Okay. So let's record it in. Now you notice there, I didn't just play the notes, I played some notes in between, and they're called passing notes. And what that does, it just kind of creates a bit more of a melodic bass line. So it just makes it a bit more interesting and kind of shows a bit of movement in the track. Okay, so I'm going to go back to session view now, and let's just get rid of the chords for the time being. You should be able to see that clip there in green has gone up there. So just like the beat, I'm going to duplicate that clip down to all of those scenes. So that means that bass line is going to go through the whole track. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's move over to these chords again. Let's just bring them back so we can remind ourselves what they are. There we go. So I'm just going to play those chords over the top of that beat and the bass line. And yeah, let's record it in now. Here we go. So the track is really starting to build up now. Is everyone following? Yes? Okay, good. That's great. So, all right, so we're going to go back again. You should be getting the kind of, the theme of how this works now. So I'm now going back over to the session view. And rather than copy this clip down to all the scenes, I'm going to miss out the second scene and just go straight to the third and the fourth. Bit like a bit of a sort of jigsaw puzzle, really, building up these parts. Okay. So now we're going to go over to probably what is one of the most important parts of the track, and that's the melody. And I'm using, I'll just quickly go back actually, just so you know. So the sounds that I'm using, I haven't mentioned those yet. The bass sound here is an analog device, and that's built into Ableton Live. And I've actually mapped this knob here, controller knob, to the filter cutoff. So if I play it, again, it provides a bit of sort of dynamics and movement to the track. The chords, again, that's another analog device. It's a brass sound. It's a recycled patch, actually, I used from a Kavinsky deconstruction I did before. But going back over to the melody, I'm actually using a third-party plugin. And this is one of my favorites. It's the Tal Uno LX. Should come up in a minute, hopefully. There we go. So, yeah, this is a recreation of the famous Roland Juno 60 synth. And the sound I'm using for this, a very kind of 80s sound, that's what's going to go over the top. So, let's record that in. Let's just bring the keyboard back, just so that you can see the notes. So, like I said before, this is in C minor. And all the notes that I'm playing are all notes from C minor. So that's where it's good to know your scales, to know which notes to play. Okay, let's try and play it in with no mistakes. Here we go. Right, so this is a recurring section of the track that I'm only going to keep on this first scene. There's one final part I'm going to put in before we hear it with the vocal, and that's an arpeggio part. An arpeggio is where we play the notes of a chord, rather than playing them all at the same time in one block chord, we play them in a rhythmic way. Could be called broken chords. It's something that I remember studying when I was learning piano, having to kind of play all the arpeggios in all the different scales. But this is an arpeggio part, and it goes a bit like this. Not a bit like this, it goes like this. And I've done a similar thing with this, where I've mapped the filter cutoff. Let's see if you can just see it here. Hold on, there we go. I've mapped the filter cutoff of this sound. That's really nice, it gives a bit of movement. Okay, so let's try recording that in. Great, so back to the session view. I'm going to duplicate that down to the fourth scene. And we've now got 4 different scenes. And on the right-hand side here, I can trigger these scenes here. I could just do it straight from the software, but if we just go to the first scene, second scene, third scene, fourth scene. So you can see we can kind of remix or create the track live. It's great. Okay, so final part. Now this is customary with these deconstructions, is always to try to add a vocal if it's a vocal track. Sometimes I get colleagues of mine or students to come in and record it. This time I managed to find the vocal online. So I'm going to drag it over and let's have a listen to what the a cappella sounds like. Just going to mute it. There we go.
I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm going through it since it is cold and empty. Oh, no.
Now you might be able to hear it's not 100% clean. Sounds to me like it's been some software has been used, like an a cappella extractor software. There's some amazing websites actually that do it, where you can literally just throw in the original track and then it will just kind of spit out the a cappella for you. Sometimes record companies or the artists make those a cappellas available, but yeah. This is one of those ones I think has been created through software. So should we have a listen to the whole track? Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna just do this bit of modulation here with the bass sound and that arpeggio sound, just to, yeah, create a bit of dynamics. But let's go. Let's go from the start. Here we go. Oh, maybe I should unsolo the a cappella. There we go. Back to the first scene. There we go. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
Amazing stuff. It always impresses me how you can just recreate a track like that and it sounds pretty much like the original. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Ski. I hope you enjoyed that and it's given you a bit of a taste as to what's in store if you wanted to come and study with us at Point Blank. I wanted to basically open the floor up to everybody here now to find out if you had any questions after our presentation, our tour of all of the studios and Ski's deconstruction. I'm going to hand the mic to Doug. If you want to raise your hand and let us know if you have a question, Doug's going to come around and find you, and you can let us know what it is, and we'll answer that question. Who wants to kick us off? I think we've got one back over there. And if anyone wants to ask a question after, just keep your hand up so we know how to find you. Hey, mate.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I don't know if it's working. I was just wondering how frequently we'd have access to the studios and like the equipment that's around here.
Very good question. We are open 7 days a week. So basically, you know, whenever you want to come in and work and use the studio facilities and make use of all of the kit we have here, we will always find a place for you to work. Now we have dedicated practice facilities, and you may have seen when you come in through the main entrance, on the left-hand side of the corridor, there's these little studios that you can book out. And those are private, self-contained recording studios that you can come in to work on your assignments, your coursework, your own personal projects, collaboration projects with your fellow classmates. You can even bring in people from outside of the school. So if you happen to know like a great guitarist that you want to specifically work with, you can book them into the studios. Also, all of the classrooms double up as practice recording studios and studios too. So during the day, Monday to Friday, we teach, and they will be obviously first and foremost classrooms. But in the evenings, on the weekends, you know, that's really an ideal time for our students to come in and make use of all of these other facilities. There is a booking system online. When you become a student at Point Blank, you'll be given access to what we call our dashboard and the VLE, or virtual learning environment. On that VLE or dashboard, you essentially have access to booking studios, uploading assignments, booking one-to-ones with your teachers, finding out about events and other things that are happening at Point Blank. You can get, I believe, 2 double sessions and 2 single sessions each week, plus additional sessions based on availability. In the interest of fairness, we want everyone to get their fair time in the studios, but we'll always find somewhere for you to work. There's always going to be a place for you here at Point Blank. Hopefully that answers your question. Cool. We had one question over here.
Hi, for the singing classes, are they in this building or is it another building for singing?
They are in this building, yes. In fact, so the singing classes take place in Studio 3, which we haven't been able to go into today. It is being used as a bit of a storage cupboard. Normally this hub space here will have tables and chairs, sofas. You know, it's a social area for you to hang out and collaborate and share your ideas. So we've moved a lot of that stuff in there so we can all welcome you in here today. But Studio 3 essentially is our singing studio. So it's an open space where you'll be doing the singing classes. So typically we will have a class either during the week. We also do offer some weekend options on Saturdays too. Sometimes the singing class may also take place at the Penn Street site around the corner, which is a 2-minute walk away. Cool, you're welcome. Any other questions? I think we had, we've got one at the front row. Should we go to that gentleman here, Doug, first, and then we'll come to you at the back afterwards.
So when it comes to sort of, this isn't necessarily to do with the course, but like student accommodation, I don't know if you can answer any questions about that.
Yeah.
But like, just is there anywhere that you'd recommend that can be affordable for someone who's on the sort of full-time course if they got on to stay?
Most definitely. What I'll refer you to is we have a very handy page on our website which is called Student Accommodation and Local Guide. You'll find that under our London courses. And essentially, there's a lot more information about what we recommend in terms of local student residences. Unfortunately, we don't have our own halls of residence on campus here at Point Blank, but we do recommend local student residences are very close around the corner. Great thing about being in London, it's a massive city, and it's not short on availability for student accommodation and housing. It's up to you really what you might want to go for. There are some options that are a bit pricey than others. There are some more affordable options. You're also welcome to go down the route of maybe looking at private lettings. We do have a Facebook page, or our students have actually set up a Facebook page, which puts other students in touch with one another to maybe meet up and get a big, house with a recording studio in the basement and all the other fun stuff. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that out. There's lots of options around London. If you have any other questions about that, do come and find us afterwards as well. How about the question over here?
What's your admissions rate?
Our admissions rate. Maybe we should get our head of admissions to answer that one. Claire, why don't you come up and help me with that question?
It's actually quite a hard question because we've got so many schools. So we've got the online school, we've got London and around the world, China. We don't actually turn a lot of students down because we've got the foundation course. If you are a student who either is missing the grades or is new to the subject, we can put you on the foundation. So essentially, our rejection rate is quite low, but you might be given the foundation course instead of the degree. So I think our rejection rate is about 15% maybe. It's quite short. And yeah, we have around 700 students usually at one time on the London campus. Yeah. Is that all right?
What I definitely recommend is if you have any more specific questions about entry requirements and admissions onto the degree courses, come and find Claire in Studio 2 just after the Q&A, and you can have a one-on-one chat with her, and she can guide you really kind of like as to what we'd be looking for. Do we have any more questions in the room? Raise your hands. I think we've got one from online, so we'll go to John over here. We'll hear what they have to say.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, lots of love for skis deconstruction as always. Maybe one for Rob, actually. We've got some requests to open up a campus in Germany and Alaska. PB Alaska could be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have another one here from Mr. Jazz from Canada. And he has two questions. He's asking basically, can he come and study with us as an international student? And I think he wants to know more about our music industry courses.
Certainly, yeah. So Jazz, we accept international students. We accept students from all over the world onto our degree programs or our professional courses. It is subject to a visa, so Claire would know a bit more about that, and we have a dedicated visa team that guide our applicants through the visa application process so that you can come and study with us here at Point Blank. For the music industry courses, we offer a music industry management degree. For that, you would require a student visa to come and study with us for the 2 years that the course takes to study. Or students can come and study our professional music industry diploma or certificate, I believe, which we could do in 6 months. So that could be studied on just a normal tourist visa, and students can come from anywhere in the world for a short period of time for 6 months. But what I'd probably recommend to Jazz is to get in touch with us directly. Either call us on the phone, send us an email, and we'd be more than happy to guide you through everything you'd need to do to come and study with us. So we've got a question. I think we had one in the middle of the room, or back there.
Hi, I have a question as well. I know, obviously, pre-COVID, we could book the studios with more than one person, as you were just mentioning. And unfortunately, because of like COVID, it's only like one person a booking currently. So I was just wondering, do you know, like, obviously now the circumstances are improving, do you know, like, roughly when we'll be able to like do group sessions again in the studios?
That should be soon, I believe. We were going back to, pretty much, I think, this term. Is that happening now? Rob?
It's imminent.
It's imminent. It's imminent. So you're going to be able to come in, all of you together in the studios. Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's great to have everybody here. We couldn't do this for 2 years. We were doing a lot of our open days online, virtually. I think we're all a bit zoomed out by now. So it's good to have everybody on campus. And as things are, improving steadily, everything is returning back to normal. So yes, you will be able to have your colleagues come in as well. I think we had one up front. So Doug, do you want to come up this way?
Yeah.
And if you do have any questions, keep your hand up so Doug can find you later and come up to you straight away with the mic. Hi.
Hi. If you wanted to do the professional courses,
Yes.
is it possible to do 2 at the same time? Because if you want to do the music industry and also the sound and production and engineering, is it possible to do 2 at the same time? Is it advisable also?
2 good questions. So the first answer is yes, you can do 2. Whether it's advisable or not depends on which courses you go for. But because you're looking at doing a professional course, there's a bit more flexibility. So if you were looking at, let's say, when this goes for everybody, at one of the higher education courses, they're a bit more, kind of rigid in their structure, and there isn't really much flexibility in being able to change stuff. So you'd have to do the course as it's designed. But with the professional courses, there's a bit more flexibility. Depending on the course you're looking to do, if it's maybe 1 or 2 modules, you may be able to combine that with 1 or 2 more from a different course and do something together. If not, we can look at basically putting a program together that might combine different modules from different courses as there is that additional flexibility. So what I'd probably recommend doing is coming and finding me or one of my colleagues, and we can talk exactly through with you how that would work. Cool. One in the middle of the room over there.
Hello, I was just going to ask, if you study a particular course, are you able to access all the facilities that you have to offer? So for me, it would be radio production, but the DJ thing really interests me. Like, can you book out the DJ thing as a student in that area?
Well, the radio courses have DJ modules, depending on the one you're looking at. But there is a radio production or broadcasting course that has DJ modules included. So you would have access to the radio studios and the DJ studios. To answer the question, I guess, for everybody, you would, but essentially priority would go to students studying those types of modules. So if you're doing a sound engineering course, you'll have priority to use the recording studios over others who might not be doing those types of courses. One of the best ways that I'd recommend of getting access to studios or other studios that you might not otherwise have access to because you're not doing that course is by collaborating and meeting with people and making connections and contacts. That way you can use their links to get into the DJ studio, vice versa, and make use of all of the equipment. Cool. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering what skill level, in terms of production-wise, people who are joining your course are kind of expected to be at, like whether it would
Are you
good now in production.
Are you looking at doing a degree or a professional course?
Degree.
Degree course. Okay, cool. We typically expect applicants to have a bit of experience in music production. We don't expect you to be, a full professional, banging out finished tracks and getting signed to record labels straight away. We'll help you get there. But we want to see, in particular when it comes to studying the degree, that you have, already an invested kind of interest in the subject, that you've already taken the first initial steps to start producing. So typically we'd ask students to send through a portfolio of work showcasing their production ability. Again, it doesn't need to be a super professional, polished, piece of work, but just show us that you know what you're doing, you kind of understand the basics of music production. There are different abilities at the school. Some students will have, a bit more ability than others, but everyone starts from the same level, depending on what level you're at already, and then we'll move up together at the same time, so there is uniformity among everyone improving together. Cool?
Yeah.
Yes?
Is it possible to study the degrees part-time?
It is not, unfortunately. So as mentioned earlier, they are set in their structure. The 3-year degree, you could, some may look at it as part-time because essentially you would only have 2 lectures per week. So, it does offer that a little bit of flexibility with maybe students getting a part-time job to help kind of, support living costs, etc., while studying the course. But what's important to remember when it comes to studying at higher education level at university, there's a certain amount of independent study time that's expected of you. We're going on from school, sixth form, etc., and into uni, and it's about you applying yourselves into your studies as much as making the most out of the lectures and all the facilities that you have here. So we typically recommend to students to treat it like a full-time job. Although you might be doing 2 lectures per week, you should be coming in, if you can, every single day and making use of all the facilities we have here. Yeah.
What are you looking for in your personal statement?
Claire. Claire reads all the personal statements. So let's ask her what she wants.
With your personal statement, we want to see a lot about you with your music, but also academically. A lot of people tell us about their music skill, but also we need to see how you would tackle a higher education course. So we want to see things about what you've started music making. We want to hear about experience you might have had in a studio, any extracurricular stuff that you did at school or out of college. We want to, we just want to see you as a person holistically. So things like if you've done Duke of Edinburgh, we want to know about things like that. Anything that you've done that is just extra at school, if you've been a mentor, things like that. The music's important, but it's not the only thing. With the music, we want to know about what you're interested in. That really helps us develop the curriculum and things like that. So we want to know if you're a techno head or if you're a disco, things like that. So we want to, just get to know you, really. I would say I'm quite a stickler for things like grammar and spelling. So please, if you are doing your personal statement, get someone to check it over because it's important. It's an academic course, so it has to be treated as such. But if you want to ask about your personal statements, the lovely BB is going to be in Studio 1, so she'll help you out.
Yes, just to go over that again, so we're going to be doing an application clinic literally just after the Q&A end. So if you want to get your application started today, head into Studio 1. BB's going to be there. She's going to be giving you a brief introduction as to sort of what we're looking for, what you need to do in order to start your application, and you can get the ball rolling. And then you can save that, get home tonight, finish the application off over the weekend, and shoot that off, first thing Monday morning, and then we'll consider your application for a place in the course. I think we had a question around the back over here.
Everything sounds very production based. Do you have many musicians around, or is it all very DJ and production based?
We have many musicians. I asked this question earlier on. Show of hands who here is a musician or plays a musical instrument. There you go. I think hopefully that answers the question. Look, we are quite technically focused, most certainly, and it is music production, sound engineering, DJing, yes, but it's music, and a lot of what we do is working with instruments as well. So in sound engineering, for instance, advanced recording and mixing, we bring in session musicians for you to record and work with. If you want to bring in your own instruments, and it looks like there's loads of musicians playing here already, bring them in. If you want to start a band, start a band. It's all about the music for us in any form, shape that it may come. And I think, Rob, you might want to add something to that.
Just to add as well, that's a very good question, and That's why we've started this new degree course, music production and vocal performance. So it's basically it's for musicians that also performers that want to create their own music as well. So we have that as a professional and degree courses. The professional courses have started running already, so they'll be re-triggering again in January, in April and July and each quarter, and then the degree course is starting next September. So that's exactly why we've developed that, and we're really excited because we want to cater for musicians, people. I mean, you can also be on the other courses if you're a musician, of course, but this is specially focused for performers that also want to learn production too.
Cool. I think we have a question online. John?
Yeah, funnily enough, this kind of ties in with what Rob was just saying, but excuse me, we have a question from Fern, who's interested in the music production and sound engineering degree, but also wants to perform and accompany singers. So I was asking, is it possible for that type of a collaboration?
Absolutely, Fern. Yeah, as we've kind of said again and again throughout today's event, collaborating, networking, and working with one another is really key. And yeah, if Fern's going to be studying a music production sound engineering degree, there's ample opportunities to work with singers and performers. In Studio 3 behind us here, I think we're running 4 classes this term of around 10 students. There are 40 students doing just our singing course alone, and then there are other vocal performance courses. We've usually got, that many students who are raring to go. They want to get involved in any projects. They want to work with as many people as they can. So just get involved with everybody. Knock on everyone's door. Ask them what they're doing, what they're into. Record with them. Get them into the studio. Try and work with as many people as you can. And you might click with someone. You might gel with someone, and that might become a fruitful partnership. That goes on to become very, very successful in the music industry. Rob?
Can I also like to add part of what kind of what Tijan does and what Kwame does is because they talk to students all the time, they're able to connect people up. So very much with some of the stuff we've signed on the label has been Kwame connecting students with other students and saying, and helping them with direction. That's very much, obviously you can do it yourself and network, but that's also where we can come in. And the people kind of on the front, and instructors, of course, people are on the front line that of speaking to students daily and talking about music. And so we can help with those connections and use our experience to think, well, where could you go? Who could we connect you with? If you're a producer, Kwame goes, well, I've just been speaking to this singer. I think you two might be a great fit. Why don't you get in the studio for a few hours and see what you come up with? So that's happening all the time. And as much as you can do it yourself, we're also here to help and guide that part of the process as well.
I was just going to mention as well, this kind of part of it, we have this ecosystem philosophy where we're really trying to kind of get all these disciplines working together. And a great example of that was just before lockdown, some of our radio students wanted to do a kind of live lounge type of event. So we completely facilitated that, and we ran that termly. We did auditions with our singers and musicians, and then they put it all together. They presented it, and we put it on the YouTube channel. And I think that's a really good example of how we're there to sort of support ideas. So, we're open to anything.
Absolutely. Any more questions?
That's great. Thanks, folks. Just one more from YouTube. Our friend Mr. Jazz, he wanted to know a bit more about our courses related to film scoring and multimedia.
Yeah. So, Jazz, we have modules as part of our programs, our diploma programs, professional courses, or our degree programs, things like composing for film and television, audio for games, which really focus on those areas of the music industry. And I was talking about this with my group when I was going around on tour. A lot of areas that our students enjoy careers in is really in multimedia. There's a lot of work to be found there, and that's writing music for film, for TV, for radio, and for video games, which is one of the biggest entertainment industries in the world. What we really want to provide you with here at Point Blank is we want to give you a 360-degree view of the music industry as a whole and all the different career paths and opportunities that are available to you. And hopefully through the studies that you undertake here at Point Blank and through the expert tutelage and lecturing of our expert lecturers, that help you figure out the area of the music industry you want to specialize in and you want to get involved in, whether that be multimedia, film, TV, or becoming an artist in your own right, or a sound engineer, or a vocal singer, performer, or get into the business side of things. there is something for everybody in the music industry, and there's scope for all of you to go on and become incredibly successful in the music industry too. Hopefully that helps, Jazz. We had one question here at the front. This gentleman here, and I think maybe we'll have time for a couple more and we'll wrap up.
Do you offer any like work experience outside of like the course, or references for part-time jobs in the music industry, sort of whilst you're outside of?
Here he is.
Yeah, good question. As I mentioned earlier, because we are reputable amongst the industry, a lot of the time opportunities come to us. We try and post them in the VLE, in the opportunities tab, so you can have a look. Obviously, we're in a competitive environment. You're surrounded by talent right now as you speak, so a lot of people will be coming to me and saying, is this opportunity available, or applying directly. And of course, I do my level best to reach out to my own industry contacts or people I've established a rapport with through putting on masterclasses and events, etc., and finding out whether any opportunities exist within their company. So it's a combination of us being proactive and reactive. Things come into our inbox and we put them out there for you guys. Our lecturers are really well connected. They will have people that they know that will talk about opportunities, and we bring them in. And of course, we also go out and try and find those opportunities and share them. And that's why I feel the one-to-ones are important. It helps me develop a rapport, understand what our student body is, where their skills and strengths lie, you know, what they're excelling in, what they're doing exceptionally well in. I speak a lot with the academic team, the leader of, also the leader of the production portfolio, which is like the final module, who has a real strong understanding of who is demonstrating real strong capabilities and abilities in certain areas. We can see, we break down, when you look module by module, what people are doing. There are skills in each of those modules that are applicable to different areas of the industry. So even if you're not exceptional overall, but you have particular defined skills, we can identify, okay, well, that will work in the world of sound design, or someone like you who has an understanding of the music industry would be exceptional as an A&R. We can source that through our connections with the academic team and find out who would be the most suitable candidate for those roles and put them forward. But also there is time management is an important, you know, you guys are young adults. You are going to be managing your course, whether you're in 2-3 times a week, understanding what you're capable of doing. So you are fully committed to achieving the best that you can academically here, but you have to look at what time is available to you and go out there. You know, we've got our career pathway essentials module on the VLE, which has a whole load of links to all the music job sites that are available. So again, it's not just about what we can provide and push for you, but also what you're willing to do yourself in terms of the steps forward you take yourself. Those resources are available to you. You can look, you can find a number of different job references, job sites, where you can look into, find out what the job descriptions are, what skills do I need, and make that application yourself. And if you need support with that application, I'm here, we'll do a Zoom, let's go forward. So yeah.
Just want to, can't get me off the mic now, I've started. There's a thing that came into my inbox, just to give you an example of something that I got today, which I've forwarded on to Tijan actually yesterday. It's called Beatport Next. It says, Beatport Next, apply now for our 2022 Artist Accelerator Programme. And essentially, it's a way of Beatport supporting artists, and with all kind of, you basically got to apply. It's something that we get these kind of things coming to us all the time. I forward it on to Tijan, and he will be telling our students. It will go out on the blog, it will go out on the socials. So that's one example of things that come into us. Also, you know, we've got great relationships with labels. For example, Defected. And we were talking about, there was a student that had an internship there, now has got a full-time job. What was her name, the student? Florentia. Who? That's one example. So again, that's a couple of examples of things working both ways. Stuff coming into our emails. Got so many newsletters that come to me, as we all have, and I channel them all through to the right people who can then forward on that information to our students. So yeah, there's plenty going on.
Any more questions? No? One up front?
Yeah. Yeah, for any of our students, absolutely.
So the question was if it was available for professional courses.
For all students on any course, anything from a weekend to a 3-year degree.
Fantastic. I think we've got time for one more. If anyone can think of one, just up here behind you, Doug.
Hi, yeah, just following that from what you just said, do you bring A&R to here in the school, and are we able to speak to them and present music to them? Or I don't know if you bring them over.
So we have our own A&R team, obviously. Kwame has a extensive background working with major labels and stuff like that. So he is our senior A&R here and does that role for the label. We also have a panel of people, some from the marketing department, others from different areas within the school, that review music. You all have the opportunity through the VLE to upload your music, and that instantly becomes accessible to the A&R panel. And that can be utilized not just for the label, but it might be that we use it as bedding as part of our podcast, or our YouTube has 500,000 subscribers. So we may do another promo video which we show to all you students. We might decide that this music that you've submitted would be suitable for that, and therefore utilize it then. It's another form of actually showcasing and highlighting the music that you have to a massive audience. So that's one way to access A&Rs. And also I've brought in A&Rs from many different labels and distribution companies here to speak in masterclasses. So you get the opportunity to ask them as well, and they work for different labels. And we have A&Rs reach out to us, asking for us to submit music to them for their labels. Enhanced Records, Dirty Hit, who, they released the likes of 1975 and Wolf Alice. So, yeah, we have good relationships with A&Rs. We either bring them here for you guys to probe and question them, or we have our in-house team as well that review music, that put it forward for the label. So, yeah, many, many different ways that we work with A&Rs.
Cool. Thank you, T-Jam. Well, listen, I think that's all we've got time for the Q&A this afternoon. Remember, we are going to be hanging around, so if you want to come and have a quick one-on-one chat with us, any other questions you might have, we're all going to be here. We're all going to be happy to help. Now, a couple of things. We all hope that it's helped you decide if Point Blank is the place for you to come and study now, after having seen the facilities and found out a bit more information about the school. If you want to apply for any of our higher education courses, then you can come and you can start the application right now. Head over into Studio One, and BB, who's over here, is going to be running a quick clinic where we're going to be helping you get your application started. We're accepting applications for this January 2022, as well as April 2022 and September, October. We're also accepting applications for 2023, so you can get started now for even later. We'd recommend applying as soon as you're ready, and we'd very much look forward to reviewing your application and hopefully making you an offer to come and study with us at Point Blank. If you want to come and study one of our professional courses, we've got availability for those starting in January, April, October next year. We've also got a July start date in the summer. So we've actually got 4 start dates per year for those professional courses. There aren't any entry requirements to join. It's really just a question of enrolling on the website and getting your place reserved. We can do that today as well if you'd like to, or you can enroll at any time whenever you're ready. If you do have any questions regarding or pertaining to the higher education courses, i.e. entry requirements, scholarships, visas, or anything in that nature, then head over into Studio 2 over here, and Claire is going to be answering any specific questions about that. For any other questions, just come and find us. We're going to be floating around, and more than happy to help. I'd like to thank all of our panelists and our guests here today. Thank you for their time. They've been great. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day today to come out and see us here at Point Blank. Also, a big thank you to our online viewers on YouTube. Thanks for sticking the course with us. I all hope to see you on a course very, very soon. All the best. Thank you. And take care. Bye-bye.